What's up, everybody? Welcome back to World of Warships with Tuffy the Great. So today, patch 0.5.10 is out. Well, wait a minute, Tuffy. What does that mean? Well, what that means, boys and girls, is we got a few interface things. We got a couple of little something or others in the game that aren't really important. But what that really means, ladies and gents, fellow followers, war gamers, and World of Warships enthusiasts, is the German battleships are here. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. They're here. So first up is the Nassau Tier III German battleship. It's big, it's slow, and it's useless. It's basically a Tier III battleship. But let's take a look at it real quick. So when you look at the... Oh, let's put my flag on. Can't forget that. We got to put my signature closed beta tester flag on there. So let's look at the tech tree real quick. So this is the German tech tree. We've seen the cruisers, and then for the longest time, our beloved battleships were all grayed out. Well, you start off with the Tier 3 Nassau here. Well, why do you start off at a Tier 3, Tuffy? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you guys asked. You guys ask the hard questions, and that's why I do these videos. So, when you start up World Warships, you download the game, you start it up for the very, very first time ever, you get to choose a nation. So you can choose Japan, US, USSR, blah, 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 blah. Well, in order to do that, because they give you certain credits and a little bit of XP to buy these ships. So the first one you get is the Tier 1 Hermelin. And it's just a destroyer, basically. That's what it is. It's kind of awful. It's kind of horrible. It's just a destroyer. And then you upgrade into the Tier 2 Dresden, which is the first of the cruiser classes. Now, normally what happens at this point, and in fact, let me go to the US tier tech tree and I'll show you. So we have the Erie, Tier 1, and then we pick up the Chester. So once we get the Chester, and we've played with both a destroyer and a cruiser, we have the choice to either continue on down the cruiser line here to the St. Louis, or we can jump over and pick up the Tier 2 destroyer, the Samson. And of course, both ships play completely different, and you will never ever see me in a destroyer. Some people love destroyers. I don't like destroyers. I'm not any good in them. So once you get to the Tier 3 St. Louis here, and you have time to upgrade, you have a choice to either continue down the cruiser line, or you get to jump over to the South Carolina, which is the battleship line. And then same thing, once you upgrade to the Tier 4 battleship Wyoming, you have the choice to either upgrade down the carrier line if you so wish. Now the US and the Japanese are the only two with carriers. There's no British carriers, there's no Russian carriers, mostly because carriers were not ridiculously necessary on the European front the way they were on the Pacific theater. So when you jump over to the German line, and you pick up your first ship, which is the Hermelin and then the Dresden. Unfortunately, the Tier 2 cruiser, the Emden, is a premium ship. They haven't unlocked a German destroyer line yet. But you pick up the Kolsberg, and then you get to upgrade to the Nassau, which takes you down the German battleship line from Tier 3 all the way to Tier 10. So at Tier 3, we start off with the Nassau. So let's take a look at this big beefy beast, and let's see what's going on with her. So, of course, she's completely upgraded at this point. She has 35,400 hit points, which means she's got about 16 to 270 millimeters of armor protecting her citadels down here. But she only has 16% torpedo damage reduction, which is god-awful. So that means that this ship is definitely not going to win in a fight with a destroyer or a torpedo armored cruiser. Its torpedo belt just isn't there. So if we go from survivability, let's take a look at the big guns. So for the main batteries, what we have is we have 6 2-barreled. So there's 2 barrels in each one of these turrets. 283 millimeter main battery guns. So when you take a look at that, I mean, it's just not punch, but the one thing that you'll notice is that they're laid out really weird. You have the one front, one aft, and then you have these 2 on each side. So that accounts for the 6 instead of putting, 2 in the front and 2 on the stern. And then you've got the one in the back here. So, and then we flip over to the other side, and, there's the other 2 right there with some kind of weird yellow thing on top. I don't know what that is. Look at those lifeboats, so you can tell which one's for the captain and which one's for the crew, huh? So that's the main armament of these 6 283 millimeter guns. The secondary armament is 4 of these 88 millimeter artillery cannons, which they're not that bad. They're not that big, but they're mounted on the superstructure of the Nassau. So you get four of those, both of them facing on the stern there, and then you have these 88 millimeter guns that are built into the superstructure of the Nassau itself. And then you have these ones. I like the way they're hanging off the back there. That's actually kind of cool. And then you have these 150 millimeter. There's 12 of them that also double as your side armament. So she can only fire out at about a range of 10 kilometers. So she doesn't have that range of range, but that's pretty comparable to ships of that tier. So if we go down and take a look at the the AA defense is god awful. But this ship was also built in 1909, so airplanes were not a prevalent threat the way they were in World War II or even in later wars. You didn't really have biplanes launching off carriers that could reach out and touch these guys and torpedo them the way you did in World War II. So her AA guns, she only has four of them, and they're double as those 488 millimeter flat cannons. So the maneuverability, she's got a maximum speed, fully upgraded. I fully upgraded this monster. She's got a full top speed of about 20 knots, but her turning circle takes 510 meters. So she's actually pretty maneuverable for a battleship. And then also her rudder shift time from hard to port over to hard to starboard is 11.2 seconds. So she does have some pretty decent detectability. She's detected by sea at 10.4 kilometers, but you got to remember the main battery firing range is 10 kilometers, 10.1. So by the time we can see them, they can see us, and we can shoot at them. And her detectability range by air is 8 kilometers. So, but that doesn't matter because anything that I can shoot at is going to see me. So that's the Nassau. So what is she like in battle? Well, let's take her out. Let's take her for a quick little test spin, and let's do this, guys. So here we are. We're in a battle with the Nassau, and if you look at the battle stats, lots and lots and lots of Nassaus on both teams. When I started this battle search, there was 233 battleships in my queue waiting for a game. So everybody is playing the Nassau battleships, the German battleships, which is fine. That's what they're there for. Several Japanese destroyer over there. Generally, it takes several battles to get even a halfway decent replay, and so I'm kind of hoping to avoid that. Because the battles are actually taking quite a bit of time to get into because the matchmaker has to sort all of these battleships that are coming in. But we've got a destroyer coming in. He's at 12 clicks out. There's a Wickles right there. So let's kind of see what happens here. We're going to stay loaded with our high explosive rounds because we can over-penetrate those destroyers if we're not careful. And look at them. They're launching torpedoes already. That Dursky might be in a little bit of trouble there. .3. What's our range? 10.1, boys and girls. 10.1. That's the magic number for us. They look like they're handling him pretty good, though. I don't think he's gonna walk away from this unharmed because he seems to be just crawling. He's getting pounded. So let's switch over to this Dresden here. Oh, there's another destroyer right there, but he just disappeared. Yep, we got the destroyer. That Dresden's turned the other way. So there's another Nassau. First shots fired in the Nassau. Hoping they're going to be way short. I'm leading them way too much. But we're going to switch over to our armor-piercing rounds. Slow down just a little bit, see if we can get some shots off. I will say I do like the dispersion on these guns. You don't have a whole lot of dispersion, which I do like. So my shots aren't wildly going too close.
Torpedoes to starboard.
It says torpedoes, but I don't see torpedoes. So I think it's lying to me. See if we can get some shots out at that Dresden. Ooh, big hits. Big hits there. So I'm liking this ship so far. It punches through that armor pretty effectively. It's got a quick reload time on those main guns, which I do like. Let's target this other Nassau here and see what we can do. Ooh, 5 hits on that Nassau. Not big hits, but hits nonetheless. That was a good one. So that Dresden is just about toast. He's turning desperately in an attempt to either get away or shots out at him. Let's see if we can put that final nail in his coffin. Yep, got him. So our other Nassau brothers here are not really doing much. This guy's just kind of cruising along, I think. Oh, hapless victim here. Let's see if we can target him and get some shots off real quick. That's 6.5 clicks.
Target penetrated.
5 lovely shots. So far, I am enjoying this ship. I enjoy the gun stability of it. It seems to be a pretty solid little girl, which is making me happy. Oh, only landed 2 hits with that one. Again, we've got some good cruiser and destroyer support going on. Now remember, battleships are not designed to kill ships. Battleships are there to put heavy fire on, and that's, you know, the cruisers and their small, quick-firing guns and the destroyers and their torpedoes. That's what they're for. They're there to put heavy fire on, or to kill ships, not us. So I got to be careful because these 2 battleships, these 2 Nassaus, are just turning into me, and they're not paying attention to a darn thing they're doing. I'm going to put it in reverse because I want to keep hitting this Nassau. And he's kind of hiding behind this island from me. We're not... There we go. All right, so we'll slow down, let him get out to the side. His guns aren't even pointed at us at this point, so he's not terribly worried about poor little Tuffy and his Nassau. He's got some bigger problems. Oh, good solid 5 hits on him there. That was a big one, too. I'm going to kick it back into forward here. Nope, he's gone behind that island. So we're going to miss out on that kill. But that's okay, because there's another Nassau over here. He's hiding behind that island like a chump. It's a pretty even match. I mean, we're ahead on points. They're, you know... Oh, come on. Don't cap. Get out of the cap circle. Nice full health Nassau here, going to defend their cap. Actually, we'll take him out there instead. We'll go after this guy, because he's only 9 clicks out. I'm going to try to set it up so that when we get around the side of this island, we can pop out and give him a nice big broadside. Oh. That's another Nassau down. Oh, this guy's burning too. Look at that. Put some shots out on him, start doing some damage. 3 little hits. Nothing great, but nothing to write home about. So we've been detected for the very first time this battle, believe it or not. And somebody's putting shots on. Oh, he's going to shoot at me. Let's see what happens. Not too much. So here comes another Nassau. See if we can do some damage to this guy. 3 hits. Again, not too bad, but not too great. Make him rethink some of his life choices. So our destroyer has started capping, which doesn't make me very happy, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Get some more shots off at this other Nassau before. Oh, 5-6. That was pretty good. That was pretty handy. I'm not angry at that. Now remember, there is a Nassau on the other side of this island right here. Don't forget about that guy. And there he is. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. So we're going to give him just a little bit of a turn here, because he's only 6 clicks off. I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping that our friendly Nassau here will decide to get around that island. I'm not sure if he's reversing or what he's doing. Because this is right about where I could hit that Nassau. But looks like the island is still in the way. Don't worry, friendly Nassau. You got some backup coming. This guy's not going to know what hit him. Boy, it's hard to kind of figure out where the front of this ship is. Secondary armaments are opening up at each other. He's too far out of range for my secondary armaments to open up on him, but he's not out of range for the other guy. So now he's got 2 battleships on him. He's in trouble, and he knows it. See him starting to turn away there. He's got two battleships on him, and he's in a heap of trouble. You know, I will say though, I do like having those 2 side guns. I mean, it's a little weird, but I'll tell you why I like having them. Because then I can put a lot of shots downrange, even when my ship is facing forward. Dude, this Nassau had better start hitting something. He needs to move forward. He needs to chase this guy. He's the only enemy in range. He needs to stop fiddle farting around. Because that's what he's doing. This whole I'm scared, so I'm going to stop and sit here is kind of old. It's getting kind of old. Because I'm not capping the base, by the way. Just for you guys who are curious, I am going to kill this guy. I'm just moving through the cap circle to... Oh yeah, that Nassau's in trouble. He's got that Samson on him too. That Samson does need to be careful because he's probably in range of that other Nassau. So... Yep, so this Nassau is finally turning his forward guns at me. Oh, doesn't matter though, does it? Alright, let's hit these other guys. They've got 2 ships left. They've got a cruiser and a destroyer, or a battleship left. That Samson needs to go take out that Endon. Because what the Endon is actually trying to do is the Endon is trying to cap our base. They can't win on kills. They can't win on points. So they're actually going to try to cap our base. Where's the front of the damn ship? There it is. I could have swore I hit him, but whatever. Oh, we lost our Samson, so it's up to me and this other Nassau. We have a couple of Nassau's with us. Ooh, that wasn't a very good gun dispersal. And he's firing high explosive for some reason, which means he's not going to do squat for damage. Damn it. Looks like they're probably going to win on cap. I'm not going to lie. Yep, they won on cap. That Samson didn't do his job. He was too focused on that battleship. So, for a Tier 3 game, not too shabby. 79,600 XP, or credits, 808 credits, or XP. God, I can't get this right. So we didn't do too bad. 1 incapacitation. We did 60 target hits, 1 hit to Citadel, and we destroyed a ship. So in my very first battle in the Nassau, that is not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. We didn't take a lot of damage. So good on everybody. It was a fun game. I do like this ship. I might actually keep this ship around. It's a pretty sturdy little ship. So, hey, so that's it for the Tier 3 German Battleship Nassau. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section. And as always, I will catch you guys later.